A big win for D-back fans last night. We're back tonight in Denver, the third of this big four-game series. Diamondbacks only 2.5 behind the Rockies for the National League West lead. With just 17 games to play, they are 3.5 out of a wild card spot. Glad you're with us. D-backs and Rockies on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Coors Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. This is a big swing game for the Diamondbacks tonight. With the win, they can move within 2 games of Colorado in the loss column. And, Bob, that would give the D-backs a lot of momentum heading into the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, no question about it. And behind Patrick Corbin tonight, I can't think of a better guy to have on the mound than the ace left-hander.
This is what it looks like, 17 to play. Note the purple games and the blue games. 5 versus Colorado, 3 still to go against the Dodgers.
Yeah, the reality is those are all big games. Every game on that schedule is a big game. When you're in a pennant race at this point of the season, they're all big games.
Well, we've got a headline pitching matchup for you tonight. It's a rematch of the opening day starters at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin for Arizona and Jon Gray for Colorado. As for Jon Gray, Bob, his last 2 starts against the Diamondbacks have both been very big games, and he has not done well.
Not well at all. They don't get any bigger than a postseason game. And last year in the wild card, he got chased out in the second inning, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. And you see opening day, 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs in that ball game. He also walked 3. This is the first time he's seen the D-backs since that opening day start.
Corbin and Gray, the D-backs and the Rockies on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. By Chase, make more of what's yours. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The Card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the Card today.
It is another beautiful night here in downtown Denver. Patrick Corbin for the Diamondbacks. John Gray for the Rockies. It's a rematch of opening day. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Colorado, blue skies above, very comfortable 90 degrees. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you. It's the D-backs and the Rockies, a big swing game for Torey Lovullo's ball club in the NL West standings. D-backs after this one will be either 2 or 4 games behind the Rockies in the loss column. And here's the lineup for the Diamondbacks tonight. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
A.J. Pollock talking to home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy. He'll be out in center field. Eduardo Escobar at third base. David Peralta will be in left field. Paul Goldschmidt down at first base. Daniel Descalso at second. Steven Souza Jr. out in right field tonight. Nick Ahmed at short. Alex Avila doing the catching, and left-hander Patrick Corbin on the mound.
On the mound for Colorado, it's John Gray, your Ram Truck starting pitcher, the 26-year-old right-hander. A career-high 11 wins, but a very inconsistent season for Gray, who was expected to be their ace. Opening day was the last time we've seen John Gray, and as we mentioned before, Bob, that did not go well for him.
Not well at all. Coming off a rough outing against the Dodgers back on September 7th, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He walked a career-high 5 batters in that game in just 4 innings of work.
Gray has struggled so much this year. At one point, they sent him down to the minor leagues. Matt Holliday is out there for the Rockies in left field. Here's a look at the Colorado defense, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelry.
No, this is not an alumni game. That is Matt Holliday starting in left field. Charlie Blackmon will be in center. David Dahl over in right. Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story will man the left side of the infield. DJ LeMahieu and Ian Desmond on the right side. Drew Butera behind the plate today for right-hander John Gray.
And as you mentioned, Phil Cuzzy is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Chris Conroy's at first base. C.B. Bucknor at second, and there's the crew chief Fielden Culbreth. He's our third base up tonight. D-backs 2.5 games behind the Rockies division lead with only 17 games left to go. They are 3.5 out of a wild card spot. And A.J. Pollock will lead it off.
And we mentioned last night the Rockies pitching staff has given up 124 first inning runs, most in the major leagues, and John Gray is not innocent in that respect either. In 27 first innings, he's given up 31 hits and 17 runs. He's also allowed 5 homers in the first inning.
And no team in the majors has scored more first inning runs than the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's that Gray fastball. 0-1.
Fastball slider combination mostly. You'll see a lot of fastballs. He does have a curveball he'll use occasionally and a very, very rare straight changeup.
Gray's slider has not been as effective a pitch as it was for him last year. The velocity on that slider down just a bit. That was it right there. Arenado at third. And that slider used to be right at 90. It's now 87, 88, and it's been getting hit a lot harder this year than it has in the past. Here's Eduardo Escobar, third baseman. 271, 20 home runs.
Escobar with another base hit in the ball game last night after 3 hits in the opener here in Colorado.
That was the Gray curveball. Escobar 4 hits in the series. He's knocked in a run. New look for the Rockies. Behind the plate, the veteran Drew Butera is back there. We've seen Walters, we've seen Iannetta so far. Butera just picked up a couple of weeks ago. They're trying to crowd Escobar in. Still down 0-2. Into the breaking ball that's lifted along the line. Tough play for Colorado, and it drops it to foul ground. Went to the curveball on 0-2.
For this ballpark, little pop-ups like that drop untouched because nobody can get there. Just so much room in foul territory, so much room in the outfield. You have to play deep, respecting the way the ball carries in this ballpark, and little foul balls like that drop in and continue at bats. That's when bad things tend to happen.
2.66 acres of outfield here in this ballpark, and you know from the past, Matt Holliday was not a great defensive outfielder in his younger days. He's 38 now, so he won't cover a lot of ground out there. Desmond goes top shelf and takes extra bases away from Eduardo Escobar. Ian Desmond at first.
Who knew? That ball is smoke. Looked like it was headed for the right field corner, but Desmond, like he's going up to take a rebound. Nice one-handed catch. That one was ticketed for the corner.
Sure was. That was a bullet down there. Ooh. So John Gray, 7 pitches to get 2 outs, all 7 pitches for strikes. Here's David Peralta. David looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Peralta 297 and 27 home runs. Fastball is a strike. 0-2. David had a 2-run home run in the first inning last night out to dead center. He sits safely now in 6 straight games. Tried that slider in. David, career against John Gray. There's some ownage here. 8 for 16.
I'm not great at math, but I think that's like 500 or so.
I'm going to have to check with your staff. Give them something to do. Fastball just off the plate. Phil Cuzzy doesn't bite. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bounce to second. DJ LeMahieu from the outfield grass. Gray works a 1-2-3 first. Patrick Corbin coming up. Truck starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, the lefty Patrick Corbin. A 3.01 ERA, seventh best in the National League. He is third in strikeouts and coming off a win over Atlanta in his last start.
Yeah, 5-3 win over Atlanta. Went 6 strong innings in that ball game. Gave up only 1 run on 4 hits. Punched out 9 Braves hitters. Issued only 1 base on balls.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the Rockies lineup.
Charlie Blackmon once again will lead it off. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Nolan Arenado at third. Trevor Story will be at shortstop. Matt Holliday in left field. Ian Desmond down at first base. David Dahl in right field. Drew Butera is the catcher tonight for right-hander John Gray.
Here's Charlie Blackmon, 286 and 26 home runs. Always a threat for the leadoff homer. He just missed one last night. Doubled high off the wall in right. Time bomb for your Valley Honda dealer. Key to the game.
Yeah, we're going with a color theme, black and gray. You've got to control Charlie Blackmon. You got to get some knocks off of John Gray. Charlie Blackmon in this series 4 for 7 with 2 walks and has scored 3 runs.
Patrick ahead 0-2. Blackmon leading the National League in runs scored. There are the numbers on the season. Doubled and walked in the ball game last night.
This time around against the Rockies, a little more what we're used to seeing from the Colorado Rockies. Big offense. They're hitting .361 in this series. 26 base hits in the first 2 games, 10 of them doubles.
Colorado, well, of course, that first game, 13 runs, 17 hits for Bud Black's group. Last night, 3 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. Try the fastball away. 2-2. Doesn't bite on the slider, and Blackmon has worked it full 3-2 with LeMahieu on deck.
You know, every team that faces Patrick Corbin has this game scouting report. They know he's going to pound that slider in there, especially in 2 strike counts. But so far, nobody's been able to lay off of it.
Case in point, he goes to the fastball that time, though, and gets the strikeout. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the Diamondback defense.
Steven Souza Jr. enjoying some light reading out there in right field. A.J. Pollock will be in center. David Peralta in left field. It'll be Escobar, Ahmed, Descalso, and Goldschmidt third to first across the infield, with Alex Avila behind the plate for lefty Patrick Corbin.
LeMahieu coming off an 0 for 4 last night, following a 3-hit game Monday. Batting average now at .280 with 14 home runs. No LeMahieu shift, no shift of any kind, in fact, from the Diamondbacks here. 0-1. AJ starts to drift over toward right center just a bit. Up the middle, Descalso is there. 2 down. Big hand as always for Arenado. Doubled twice last night. 296. He's got 32 home runs.
And one thing I've noticed about Nolan Arenado, and he just did it right there. He gets into the batter's box and assumes his stance that he's going to take to face Patrick Corbin, and then looks out to the mound to make sure he's lined up just like a golfer would before lining up a shot. Occasionally the grounds crew will put that batter's box in just a little bit off center, maybe a little bit angled, and if you step into that box and assume it's the same as it was yesterday, you might not have your feet in the position you want.
Got that back foot right on the line. Punches this one toward the right field corner, slicing away from Souza, and it's off the base of the wall. Nolan Arenado doubled twice and scored twice last night, and he's got a 2-out double in the first.
Slider up and out over the plate. Arenado stays right on it, drives it down into that right field corner. Steven Souza Jr. backs off the wall, and then that one hit the pad. Just kind of checked up right there by the fence. Arenado in with a 2-out double.
Here's Trevor Story. Batting .293, like Arenado, he's got 32 home runs. Now 100 runs batted in. He is one off the league RBI lead held by the Reds' Eugenio Suarez. Reds were beaten by the Dodgers earlier today. LA won 8-1 at Great American Ballpark. So they gained a half game on Colorado. Story has homered and doubled in the series. He's knocked in 4 runs. Having a big month of September. Escobar at third. Good job by Patrick. Strands the 2-out double. No score after 1. Pitches to start us off. Paul Goldschmidt leads off the Diamondbacks second, and it's Goldie takes on the universe. Brought to you by AARP. Most consecutive road games reaching base safely as a first baseman. Goldie on the all-time list.
Wow.
Now, he's reached base safely in a D-backs record 47 consecutive road games. This is 52, but only as a first baseman, so there's a little bit of a scenario there. You played with Ferris Fain, didn't you?
Yeah, we used to call him Double F, but yeah, he was a great player. Speaking of great players, Paul Goldschmidt in the first inning. We got to get this in quickly.
Hurry up.
348 lifetime hitter, 13 homers, 22 runs driven in. He scored 28 runs in the first inning of ball games.
Got a fastball from Gray and missed it. Saw the numbers on Goldie, still leading the league in OPS, on base percentage plus slugging percentage.
All that would have been pertinent if it was the first inning.
Oh boy, see, I think your staff is starting to be affected by the altitude
I
here.
think so. Thin air.
Which was only really a matter of time. Way to go, stay hot.
Well, you know, it's easy to be confused. First at bat, first inning, whatever.
Well, I think I can find some relevance. I really do, because that one is over the bag and fair, slowly rolling up that right field line. Dahl picks it up, and Goldie's got a double. Boy, that slowed down over the bag and just kept on going ever so slowly.
Well, Goldie saw Escobar try to hit one over Ian Desmond down there at first. That didn't work so well, so Goldie just tries to shoot one under him down that first base line. Gets out in that thick outfield grass and just dies in front of David Dahl.
All right, so he's now reached base safely in a Diamondback record 48 consecutive road games, and leads everybody in 2-strike hits in the National League. Descalso, the start at second tonight.
Scooter Gennett of the Cincinnati Reds, second on that 2-strike hits list. We've got more about Scooter a little bit later on.
what you people call a tease in the business. Descalso, 246, 12 homers. Diamondbacks last night, 4 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Ketel Marte had a couple of big hits in the ball game last night, but Descalso's in there tonight instead of Marte. Now you go, hold on, he just had a good game. What's the deal? Well, you've got a lefty going tomorrow in Kyle Freeland, and then we expect to see Dallas Keuchel Friday in Houston, so that's back-to-back lefties, and Marte will get a lot of right-hand bats coming up. So Descalso in there tonight against the right-hander. Fastball misses up, 2-1. With the way Marte has struggled basically from the left side of the plate, some of those at-bats going to Descalso here down the stretch. Ketel 100 points better as a right-hand batter than as a left-hand hitter. Another fastball, another miss for Gray, and it's 3-1.
I say it every time we get a runner at second base and nobody out. You'd like to see Daniel really roll over and hit that ball to the right side, ideally for a base hit and drive Goldie home, but at worst, move him up to third base for Steven Souza Jr.
See Story creeping in behind Goldie at second from his shortstop spot. Got a hard slider on 3-1. I think John Gray has really slimmed down. I mean, he's a big dude. He's 6'4", that classic big power right-hander, but I don't recall seeing him this lean. He's dropped some lbs.
Yeah, and he's trimmed his hair a little bit too. Still very long, but it used to be way down over his name on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, gets his hair cut every year and donates it to charity. Butera will start the set of signs again. One more time on 3-2 to Daniel Descalso. He missed upstairs. Tried the slider again. A double and a walk start off the D-back second. Steven Souza Jr. back in right field tonight, batting .231, 4 home runs. Steven 0 for 3 in the series opener Monday, struck out twice. 2 on and no outs.
I mentioned John Gray's last outing against the Dodgers. He actually threw almost twice as many sliders as fastballs in that game against LA. 53 sliders, only 28 fastballs in the game.
Yeah, that was a big start for him right here at Coors Field last Friday. Lasted only 4 innings. Tied a career high with 5 walks. And the command has been spotty here in the second, certainly. Pitch count got out of control for Gray. Walk 5 and 4 and had to be pulled from the ball game. They're looking for some consistency from the guy they thought would be their ace this year. Behind on Souza, 2-0. This is with another fastball. They walked Descalso. Now he's behind on Souza, 3-0. You've got Ahmed on deck. Goldie's at second, Descalso's at first. Taking all the way, got the fastball in there. Souza got hot for a while there when he was in the leadoff spot. 3 straight 2-hit games, but he's gone just 1 for 21 in September. Chance to bust out right here. Bounced in the hole, backhanded by Story. They go to third, and the tag is off the bag. They tried for the force. Arenado couldn't keep his foot on there, And the bases are full of Diamondbacks.
I think that's the right play by Trevor Story. Unfortunately for the Rockies, Nolan Arenado ends up backpedaling to the bag at third. Had no idea where the base was. He knew it was close. But you can see the mark in the chalk right there on the third baseline as he tried to drag that right foot, missed the base, and kicked up some chalk.
Field and Culbreth right there, the crew chief to make the call. That's a fielder's choice for Souza. Bases full, nobody out for Nick Ahmed. Butera out there to talk to Gray, who's in a real jam. Chance to put a big crooked number up there and get a good start, just like last night when the Diamondbacks got 2 in the first. Scoreless here in the second.
Boy, the Diamondbacks in the first half of the season, well, pre-All-Star break, 12 for 78 with the bases loaded. That's a 154 average. Their best offensive weapon in the first half was the walk. They drew 12 bases loaded walks in the first half. Since the All-Star break, however, they're hitting 355 with the bases loaded.
Gray threw 12 pitches to get 3 outs in the first. He's thrown 13 pitches in the second and has yet to retire a batter. Slider misses low. Nick hitless in the series so far. Was intentionally walked and stole a base in the ball game last night. 244 and 16 home runs. That's out of play. Fastball away. 1-1. Boy, since he came back from the minor leagues on July 14th, John Gray, he was only down there a couple of weeks. But since he's come back, he's undefeated, 4-0 in 10 starts, and the Rockies have won 8 of those 10 starts. So he's pitched well down the stretch. But in big trouble right here. Well, that slider sailed on him. 2 balls and a strike. Got the corner on the fastball, and it's 2-2. Avila on deck.
That's probably a good take right there. That fastball down and in. You're either going to foul it off your front foot or pull it foul down that third baseline.
Pitch number 20 in the inning on the way from John Gray. In the air, center field, drifting over to right center is Blackman. Goldie's at third. Here he comes. Descalso takes off for third, and the D-backs strike first. It's 1-0. RBI for Ahmed.
Good pitch selection that time by Nick. Didn't chase that fastball down, even though it was a called strike 2. Finally got a pitch he could lift in the air to the outfield. Drives it out to Charlie Blackman, and the D-backs are on the board first again.
1 out there on the corners for Avila. 161 and 6 home runs. Alex back behind the plate. Had a tough night Monday in the opener. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He's got Descalso at third, Souza at first. Fastball misses 1-0. Colorado's division lead down to 1 game over Los Angeles. Diamondbacks 2.5 back in third. Dodgers won at Cincinnati earlier today, 8-1. StatCast AI powered by AWS. There's a look at the Rockies defense. Not as much of an overshift as we often see against Alex Avila. Story wants to stay close to that bag in case they turn 2. Boy, pretty good fastball right there. Little low for Phil Cuzzy. 2 balls and a strike on Alex Avila. Tough to win in this ballpark when you don't get that strike call if you're the pitcher.
And that's the argument you'd get if a pitching coach happened to make a trip to the mound and wait for the plate umpire to come out there. He'd say that's where we teach them to pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Down at the bottom of the zone. He's got to have that pitch.
Here's Steve Foster, the Rockies pitching coach.
That's the main reason why Bobby Cox leads all managers all time in ejections. Bobby used to argue for pitches like that early in the game and a lot of times get ejected.
Souza takes off for second, and Butera's throw is late. 6th stolen base of the year for Souza. Drew Butera had a rough time throwing out attempted base stealers earlier this year with Kansas City. Only 3 for 23.
A strong throw right on the money, but Steven Souza gets that foot on the bag, and if he didn't break contact with the base there as that tag was held on him, he should be safe at second base.
And we've talked, Bob, about how the Diamondbacks have been a lot less aggressive on the bases this year, certainly compared to last year. Had 3 stolen bases in the game last night. And Souza running early in this one. So no challenge from Bud Black. Single can knock home 2 runs, and Gray about to throw his 25th pitch of this second inning after a 12-pitch first. Boy, thought about swinging at that slow curve. Alex able to lay off. Full count, 3-2. The pitcher Corbin on deck.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him get another breaking ball on that outside corner, or maybe down and in toward the back foot. You've got the pitcher on deck. Well, 8 batters in the ball game. 6 of them have seen 5 or more pitches.
Whew. They've been able to lay off the ones they're supposed to, and Gray's command has not been great. Here it is on 3-2. Let's go down to Jody.
Yeah, guys, this is exactly what the guys were talking about pregame. Being disciplined at the plate, not chasing pitches, and so far we've seen exactly that. And as you mentioned, too, getting the pitch count up, chasing John Gray out of this game early would be certainly part of the plan for the D-backs.
Chance to do some damage right here, no doubt. He missed down and in with a fastball, and they're loaded again. Second walk in the inning for Gray. And here comes Corbin, who, as we know, can be a hitter from time to time. There goes Steve Foster out to the mound.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
John Gray got off to a very disappointing beginning to this season. He lost 4 of his first 5 starts. Really struggled. Managed to get it back to 7-7 for the year in the middle of June, but his ERA was almost 6. And so he was actually sent down to the minors for a couple of weeks at the end of that month. First time in his career that he'd been optioned to the minors in the middle of the season. He has been a lot better since he's come back from Albuquerque, but this is not going well for him in the second.
We can actually see the phone ringing in the Rockies bullpen. They've got a flashing red light when Bud Black picks up the phone in the dugout, and it was red alert down there.
So here's Corbin, and he misses low with a fastball. If he can't throw his fastball for strikes with what he throws, he's in big trouble. 40 pitches, 24 strikes. Bounced over the mound. LeMahieu, Story, and Gray is saved by the double play ball. D-backs get one. They take a 1-0 lead. Against the pitcher, keeps it to 1 run as we start the bottom of the second. Fans, now's the time. Get your tickets. Our final homestand is coming up against the Cubs, the Rockies, and the Dodgers. This is going to be an enormous homestand. 3 critical series. Every game counts in the fight for postseason. Don't miss them. dbacks.com is the place to get your tickets. Dave McKay, Torey Lovello, Matt Holliday will lead off a Rockies second against Patrick Corbin. Time now for the Sun State Technology Group postseason update. Mentioned this is a big swing game at the end of the night, Bob. Diamondbacks, in terms of the loss column, either 2 or 4 behind the Rockies.
Yeah, big game, and yeah, we've been keeping an eye on that wild card race as well. The Cardinals had a lot of traffic on base, down by a run in the ninth today, but couldn't push that tying run across. They went down to the Pirates today.
So the D-backs 2.5 back in the division, 3.5 in the wild card. Dodgers already won. They beat the Reds in Cincinnati 8-1. Here is Matt Holliday, back with the Rockies at the age of 38. 375, couple of home runs. He's only played in 13 games this year.
He's all over the Rockies record book. 7-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, won a batting title back in 07, hit .340 with 36 homers and 137 driven in.
Started his career here in Colorado, now back in a dangerous right-hand bat off the bench, or the occasional starter against a left-hander like tonight. Holliday played a little bit of first last year with the Yankees, but he was mostly a DH. Making his 9th start for the Rockies this year in left field, which is where he used to play for so long in Colorado and St. Louis. This is belted down the line and foul. Woo. Just missed. He still got the power.
Yeah, just hooking down that left field line the entire way and ends up on the good side of the pole that time.
Holliday, when he came back, homered in his 3rd game during this Rockies reunion. And then homered again last Friday here against the Dodgers. Down 0-2.
Oh.
Funny, when he got back here, Bob, he didn't have any shoes. Hey, they needed to be a certain color. He wears a size 14. Nobody wears a size 14. And they actually found some of his old shoes from 2007 in a box in some closet here. And so when he first got here, he had to wears more than 10-year-old shoes, the cleats he used to wear when he was originally a Rocky, but they have since got him some new ones. Anybody in here size 14? No takers.
There are 2 size 7s.
That's true. Still 2 and 2.
Holiday comes by this baseball stuff honestly. His father, Tom, was the head coach at Oklahoma State for a long time, and now his brother Josh is the head coach at Oklahoma State. And in the past, Holiday has said when he gets into a funk at the plate, he calls his brother.
Yeah, Holiday grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Rockies drafted him out of high school there back in 1998. He was a 7th-round pick. Can't check on the slider. Avila finishes off the strikeout. That's the second for Patrick. Ian Desmond backing at first base tonight. Struck out as a pinch hitter last night. 232 and 20 home runs.
As you know, partner, part of my staff made the trip here to Colorado to help us out here in the booth, and they're telling me that former D-backs TV analyst Jim Traber used to babysit for Matt Holliday back in Oklahoma.
Boy, you think Traber's feeling a little old?
Of course, my staff, part of my staff, was employed in the Jim Traber days here in Arizona. Some of them got to stick around.
It's a very low bar.
I think that's where they hang out most of the time.
Line to left. Peralta misplays it. It's over his head. Not sure if David misjudged that one or lost it in the lights. It was a line drive out there. And Desmond's at second. He scored a double.
David has had some defensive adventures or misadventures out there recently. I think that ball was just hit a lot harder than he realized off the bat. If Ian Desmond just shot over his head all the way to the wall right there for a 1-out double.
Brings up David Dahl, the right fielder. Dahl, 4 hits, 5 RBIs in the series. Had a grand slam here Monday. 273, 10 home runs. Good slider in there for a strike. Dahl in just over 50 plate appearances, only hitting 176 versus lefties this year. He has homered twice against left-handers. Waves at a slider. That's a tough call for Bud Black because you've already got Holliday in left. So your other options for right field are Cargo, who's a left-hand batter. Parra hits left-handed. You could put McMahon in there somewhere, but he also hits lefties, so there's not a lot of choices.
Cuevas would probably be the most logical candidate if you wanted to use a right-handed bat against Patrick Corbin.
Patrick ahead 0-2. Dahl has hit safely in each of his last 5 starts. That's why they want him in there. He's homered in 3 of those 5 starts. Swing the bat well right now. Patrick's got to try and pick up his defender here. He stranded a 2-out double by Arenado in the first. Now he's got Desmond back there with 1 out here in the second. Waves at the slider. 3 strikeouts for Corbin.
Slider mania in that at bat to get David Dahl. He eventually chases one in the dirt. All sliders this at bat. Front door for a called strike. Off the plate, low and away for a swinging strike. He bounces one right there and then comes right back with one in a similar location to get the swing and a miss. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Boy, the response from the opposing hitters is almost universal. It looks just like a fastball, and by the time you realize it's not, it's just too late.
Well, this is where we first heard it said about Patrick Corbin by Todd Helton, former Rocky great. That's the best slider since Randy Johnson. That's high praise.
Helton's number, the only one retired here in this ballpark, ever worn by a Rocky. Fastball's a strike on Drew Butera. Butera, 35-year-old veteran backstop, acquired from Kansas City at the end of August. He's only 2 for 5 at the plate with Colorado. He's only appeared in 2 games before tonight. Yes, he went. Chris Conroy at first.
And check swing on a slider down. Now, I wonder if Butera's in there tonight. We talked about John Gray and his struggles and the expectations for him to be the ace of the staff, and maybe they just wanted to put a different catcher back there tonight and see if Butera sees something different than Chris Iannetta or Tony Walters to try to get John Gray through a ball game.
Diamondbacks have certainly done that several times.
Yep.
With different pitchers and catchers over the year. On the ground to Descalso at second. And Patrick Corbin once again strands a Rockies double. It stays 1-0 Diamondbacks. Three doubles. D-backs lead 1-0 on a Nick Ahmed sacrifice fly. I hate to break the news, but Sunday is the season finale of the Local 9 as Todd Walsh visits with guys like John Jay, Randy Johnson, John Ryan Murphy, and our own Bob Brenly to find out their favorite things to do and places to go outside the ballpark. It's the D-backs Local 9 presented by CenturyLink, coming up Sunday after our game against the Astros on Fox Sports Arizona.
John Jay needs somebody to play catch with.
He's lonely. You gotta get that thing that Dave McKay uses that wraps around your body, that string, ball on the end of a rope. A.J. Pollock leads off the third against John Gray. John Gray behind in the count, much of a very long second inning. He threw 29 pitches in that inning. And he has now thrown first pitch balls to the last 7 Diamondback hitters. Gray had a 12-pitch first, a 29-pitch second. D-backs twice loaded the bases, but got just one run home as Corbin hit into a double play to end the threat. AJ's bat really coming around lately. He doubled, had 3 hits, and scored twice last night. Tripled and scored a run Monday in the series opener. Gray keeps missing with his fastball. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, 2 of AJ's hits would have to be classified as hustle hits last night. A little topper down the third base line that Arenado couldn't make the play on. Then he hit a ball to shortstop that Trevor Story briefly checked the runner going from second to third, and by the time he lined up to throw to first base, AJ beat it out for another infield hit.
That was a key play too, because they got the call overturned. AJ stole second and then scored on that Marte 2-run single in the 8th. That's out of play. This is the hustle play to which you were referring a moment ago.
Yeah, there's a little. That's the base hit. That's the clean line drive single into the, or rather double into the gap in right center. And then a swinging bunt down the third baseline that Arenado tries to make a bare hand play on. Didn't come up with it cleanly. And then ground ball to shortstop. And look at AJ busting it down that line. We mentioned Story just took his eye off of AJ for a moment to check the runner going second to third. And that's all the time he needed. Oh, no.
That got him somewhere near the hand or wrist. Here comes Ryan DePanfilo and Torey Lovullo. A fastball at 94.
He's got that wristband on with an insert in it that provides some protection, but man, that one got him pretty good.
He's walking up the line, and Ryan DePanfilo not even really, now he'll start to look at it, but AJ does not seem to be in a terrible amount of pain or anything.
We talk all the time about getting out of the way of inside pitches, and you should, if possible, always turn away from the ball. That time you could see AJ's hands came right in with his shoulders, really opened up that front side, exposing those hands and wrists.
Gosh. Oh. Well, he's going to remain in the game. Seems to be all right for the moment. He's got to get that oven mitt on the left hand. That's where he suffered that broken thumb back in the middle of May. Escobar hit a bullet almost over the head of Desmond at first, his first time up. Would have been a double, but Desmond jumped up and caught it down the line.
We always talk about a pitcher's fastball command, and for John Gray so far, he's thrown 27 fastballs, only 16 for strikes.
That's remarkable. He always talks about trying to get a feel at this elevation for his breaking pitches, the curveball and the slider. If he can't throw that fastball in there, then it could be a long or short night for him. He's had problems here, and it's not just about the breaking pitches in this ballpark for John Gray at this elevation. His fastball, he says, stays straight here at Coors Field. On the road, he can move it, sink it, it can run. So he knows with his fastball, he's got to be a little more careful here because he just can't get the same break or movement on it that he can when he's on the road. Something Bud Black and the whole regime here in Colorado has had to deal with. Finding pitchers that can pitch in this ballpark. This is a deep drive to right center field. That ball is gone. Eduardo Escobar, 3-0 Diamondbacks. Over that screen out there and into the bullpen is 21st.
Escobar starting to show some signs of coming back to life offensively.
Just mentioned that straight fastball.
Laser beam up and out over the plate, and Escobar gets every bit of it out there into the Diamondbacks bullpen just to the right of straightaway center field.
David Peralta, who homered there last night. Got a fastball swing and a miss. That's a Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box for the purchase of a large drink. Eduardo Escobar, his 6th home run as a Diamondback. Missed with a curveball. 2-1 on Peralta. David grounded out to end the first. 21 home runs. Ties a career high for Eduardo Escobar. That was set last year in Minnesota. 447 feet. 447 for Escobar. He's got that kind of power. 2-2 on Peralta. Got him to offer at that breaking ball, and John Gray gets his first strikeout.
I'll tell you, we've been watching David Peralta his entire career here in Arizona, and there are occasions where David will have a misplay in the outfield and ruin the rest of his at-bats for the ball game.
I'm with you.
Got to let it go. Just like you have to let bad at-bats go and go out and play defense. If you make a mistake defensively, try to make it up at the plate.
They put the shift on for Goldie. You've got 3 infielders on the left-hand side. He doubled and scored in the first. Came home on Nick Ahmed's sacrifice fly. You can see LeMahieu up the middle of the second baseman on the third base side of the bag. 0-2.
Really, the major difference for me is the fact that Charlie Blackmon plays a couple of steps into the gap in left center. Most teams play Goldie to hit it to the opposite field in the outfield.
We've seen him in this ballpark hit balls over the deck, over the bullpen, where Escobar just hit his home run. I mean, he's lost a few baseballs up in that bar area up there. He's off a fastball away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goldie in 8 games at Coors Field this year has hit 4 doubles, a triple, and 5 home runs. Make that 9 games, counting tonight. That's unbelievable.
It really is. I mean, this is obviously a very favorable offensive environment, but that's crazy.
4 doubles, a triple, and 5 homers in 9 games. Guess what he's done?
Yep, pull the Goldie.
He's gone from 0-2 in the count to 3-2 in the count. Gray, meanwhile, struggling to throw more strikes than balls at this point. He's already up to 60 with just 1 out in the 3rd. 20th pitch of this inning on the way, and there it is. That gets under Desmond and rolls into right. Goldie 2 for 2. Here's Jody.
Well, guys, I know you were talking about it, particularly on the postgame show, Goldie and that at-bat he had last night that was really key in the inning where Marte came up with the clutch hit, and Torey Lovello talked about that today. I asked him, do you just love watching him do that, really work the pitcher? He said, absolutely. He said just watching him go from swinging early in that count at a breaking ball and then getting more protective with his swing and shortening it up a little bit, absolutely. It's what makes Goldie special, is what Torey said.
Leading the league in on base, or OPS, pardon me. You see Goldie's batting average there now back up over 300 at 301. Got that slider in for a strike.
Goldie battling to get his average up over 300 and keep it there, and Patrick Corbin with a good outing tonight could drop his ERA below 3. Came in at 3.01 tonight.
Patrick looking for his 12th win this year. Again, Gray misses with a fastball. Just cannot find the handle on that fastball tonight. John Gray in the last 2 innings the second and the third, and has thrown 51 pitches. That's 51 pitches to get 4 outs. Well, this is a big power pitcher that many times over the course of his still young career has gone out there and just dominated some opponents, put up 10, 11, 12 strikeouts. But for whatever reason, he is just not effective against the Diamondbacks. That wild card game, opening day here this year back at Chase Field, and again tonight, really struggles against the D-backs. Descalso, what a pro. Just lays off that breaking ball, spits on it, 2-2. "25 pitches coming up in the inning for Gray. Boy, it's these types of at-bats, Bob. I think it's why you see Torrey going to John Jay a little more often, going to Descalso a little more often. Every game is critical. It's September 12th. You're 2.5 back. I mean, this is exactly what you're looking for here.
And they don't always end in a base hit or something spectacular, but just the fact that they see 8 or 9 or 10 pitches every time they step into the batter's box, it just wears down that opposing pitcher.
There goes Goldie, and that one's fouled away. Yeah, Descalso had a 7-pitch walk his first time up in the second inning. He drew a walk on 3-2. And now Gray is really having a labor to get him out here in the third.
I mean, there are starting pitchers where you want to be aggressive and swing at a lot of early pitches because that's what the numbers would say. That's what the history of that guy would say. But then there are other times, like facing John Gray. If you can tell early on he doesn't have his good command, just grind it out. Get into that bullpen.
And he does not have his good command tonight.
No.
He's walked 2. He's only got 1 strikeout. And Descalso really making him work. Goldie takes off again. Daniel fouls it back again. Boy, in terms of the base runners, the foot is down and on the gas pedal in this series. Diamondbacks very aggressive out there. 3 stolen bases last night. Saw Souza steal second back in the second inning. Goldie off and running on these 3-2 pitches. A 7-pitch walk his first time up to Descalso. This is pitch number 8 in his second at bat tonight against John Gray. Goldie off one more time. This is trying to get foul. Arenado's over there. But the tarpaulin obtrudes. One of the great Howard Cosell lines from all time. Barbaro Gabe in pursuit, but the tarpaulin obtrudes. One more look at Arenado.
Touched a couple of different fans' hands on the way down. Looked like Arenado still thought he could make the play, even though the fans were knocking that ball all over the place. It also looked like he got to the, what do you call it, tarpaulin.
Yes, the
in
tarpaulin.
the wrong position, and then had to try to shift a little bit deeper and couldn't quite get over there in time.
Well, this Descalso at bat has gone about 15 minutes. Goldie off with the pitch one more time. Daniel strikes out, and there's the strike him out, throw him out, and Gray is out of the inning. But Escobar hits his 21st. D-backs take a 3-0 lead. Continues a very late challenge by the Diamondbacks, and they win it. They get the out call on Goldie at second, overturned. It's a stolen base. So he's at second, still in the top of the third, mind you. And Souza is the hitter.
Yeah, high tag that time from Trevor Story. You see Goldie gets his foot on the bag before the tag comes down on his left hip.
Yeah, the guy that runs the clock kind of jumped us there. And just a few seconds before we came back on the air, the safe call was announced by Field and Culbreth. D-backs win the challenge. So here's Souza. Boy, if John Gray thought the inning would never end before, imagine how he feels now. 2-0. Chris Russin, the left-hander, who's had a really difficult season, has started to get loose in the Rocky bullpen. Gray over 70 pitches in the third. Here's another look at the Goldie play at second.
Goldie, as always, with that front leg extended, lets the base stop his momentum, doesn't go tumbling out into shallow center field, doesn't have to hang on by his fingernails at second base.
3-0. Souza swings away. Got the slider, 3-1. Nick Ahmed, who drove in the game's first run with a sacrifice fly in the second, would be next. How about this? The 35th pitch of this inning from John Gray right here. And Souza. This is a breaking ball. It's full 3-2. Gray has gone 3-2 on the last three Diamondback batters. .75 pitches, 45 strikes. Gutierrez able to hang on. That finally does end the top of the third, not before Eduardo Escobar. It's the D-backs a 3-0 lead. home run makes it 3-0 D-backs. We are back in the fight for postseason. Sign up now for your chance to buy D-backs postseason tickets before they go on sale to the general public. dbacks.com/postseason. Sign up now. John Gray will hit for himself in the bottom of the third. Now a 3-0 lead for Patrick Corbin. Patrick so far has struck out 3. He's not walked a batter. We wonder if John Gray is ever going to be the guy they thought he might be. He was the 3rd pick in the draft back in 2013 out of the University of Oklahoma. He was just blowing guys away down there every Friday night with a fastball that approached 100 or often hit 100. And he's shown some big time flashes as a major leaguer, but he just has not been able to put it together. Got only 4 outs in last year's wild card loss to the Diamondbacks. The biggest start of his career turned out to be the shortest start of his career, and the shortest postseason start in Rockies history. Gets a hold of this one, backs up AJ in center, still going, and that ball's off the base of the wall. John Gray overruns the bag at second, throw into third, and he's back in time. The 3rd Rockies double tonight against Patrick Corbin.
Got a fastball up there around the letters, and Gray got the barrel on it. Boy, AJ got turned around a couple of different directions that time. Really surprised by the power of John Gray to drive that ball all the way to the fence in center field.
That was a good poke out there, deepest part of the ballpark. Brings up the leadoff man Blackman, who struck out his first time. Arenado doubled in the first, Desmond in the second, and now Gray to start the third. Fastball's in there for a strike. This is the way it went for Zach Greinke last night. Greinke only gave up 6 hits in the ball game. All 6 hits were doubles. No way did he check on that one, Covey. It's 0-2. Rockies so far, even with these doubles, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. Waves at the slider. He's faced Blackman twice and he's punched him out twice.
And he's used his fastball really wisely against Charlie Blackman in this game. Starts him with a little cutter right there in the middle of the plate, then a slider away, another slider away, gets that weak swing. He threw him a couple of fastballs in that sequence there, but it did set up that last slider to get an unusual looking swing from Charlie Blackman, our nationwide vision center's eye on the game.
Yeah, Blackman usually a guy that does very well against lefties. Here's LeMahieu, grounded out to second back in the first. Bounced over the mound. Descalso gets to it. Tough throw. Just couldn't get enough on it to get LeMahieu, and everybody's safe. It's slowly up the middle. Descalso had to go to the shortstop side of the bag just to get there.
And when you know you have to hurry your throw, you don't always get a good grip on it. Sometimes you throw it with your thumb and your little finger. The only contact with the baseball. Looked like Daniel fired a changeup over there on 2 hops. And LeMahieu able to beat it out for an infield hit.
Oh, now here come the big boys. Arenado doubled in the first into the corner in right field after he doubled twice in last night's ball game. First and third, one out. He tied him up with that slider. Arenado has been beating up lefties this year. He's over 370 against left-hand pitching. But he has admitted that shoulder injury he's got, he's not going to use it as an excuse, but it's hard to argue with the numbers. He's just not quite the same guy right now.
Yeah, he insists it doesn't bother him to swing the bat, only to make throws from third base. But as you said, the numbers would say otherwise.
Did it again. The current shoulder problem for Arenado seems to have started August 10th. Here's another look at the pitch. He had to come out of a game here against the Dodgers and then was limited to pinch hitting duty in the following 2 games in that series. And then when they went to Houston for their next series, he was the DH. So he was kind of down on the shelf for a while, even though he did have some at-bats. But ever since August 10th, he's not quite been the same guy. He's hit .245. That's a bullet fair down the line. Gray is home with a first rocky run. Peralta's got it in the corner. LeMahieu's got another double, and it's 3-1. For Arenado, 2 doubles last night, 2 more tonight.
Boy, went down and got that slider. Got it before it broke down to the back foot and just rips it down into that left field corner, driving home John Gray. Rockies on at second and third here.
Corbin has given up 5 hits, 4 doubles. Second and third for Story, who grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, 2 doubles in the game for Arenado, both coming on that Patrick Corbin slider. He threw him 2 real good ones to start the sequence and jump ahead 0-2, and then just caught a little bit too much of the strike zone on that last one.
Tries a fastball upstairs, 1-0. Trevor Story last night did something no shortstop in baseball history has ever done. He's now got 30 homers, 40 doubles, and 25 steals in the same season. That one is foul. Story also the first National League shortstop to get to 30 homers, 40 doubles, and 100 RBIs in 1 year. So a lot of history for this young man last night.
Yeah, he said after the ball game he wishes it would have been following a win so he could enjoy it. That's something you look back on after the season's over, or after your career is over, and realize what an amazing accomplishment it really was.
Former first-round pick out of high school in Irving, Texas. Grew up a big Cowboys fan. Likes to collect NFL jerseys. Got himself a Tom Brady.
Yeah, I saw that.
Got to have one from Twomey. Three hits in the inning against Corbin. A run is in. Fastball up. Avila couldn't quite hang on to the foul tip.
A dangerous spot for that fastball. Up there at the letters. Story with a big hack that time. Just got a piece of it.
Still 1-2. Matt Holliday's on deck. With Patrick, 43 pitches, 31 strikes. Got him to chase that slider down. That's a big out, number 2 right there. 5 strikeouts for Patrick.
A nice job that time by Patrick Corbin to finish off that sequence. Misses up high with a fastball. That slider pulled foul. It's a little punch shot on a fastball away. That was the best pitch of the sequence for Story to hit that fastball up in the zone, but gets to that 2-strike slider and can't get a piece of it. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Matt Holliday struck out his first time up tonight. Matt Holliday sitting around all summer without a job, wanted to play again somewhere. So he signed a minor league deal with the Rockies at the end of July. Now here he is, getting some big at bats in big games in September. Couldn't check. Phil Cuzzy appealed to the wrong base.
I think Phil Cuzzy said, I don't need to appeal. I saw that bat get out there far enough.
Let's see.
Holliday was asking for the appeal to first. He pointed at the bat and then called it a strike.
Yeah, there it is. 0-1. That gets behind Avila, and LeMahieu scores to make it 3-2. Arenado in at third.
It was something like a fastball down and in that time that Avila didn't get to quickly enough. Kind of turned his glove all the way around, ticks off the webbing, rolls all the way to the backstop that time. Didn't appear that that ball was in the dirt, just a little bit of a cross up there.
They scored a wild pitch. 20th pitch of this inning on the way from Patrick Corbin. Now the Rockies have the tying run at third with 2 outs. This is in the air, deep to center. AJ has room. Through 3, D-backs lead the Rockies 3-2.
you by T-Mobile. Dodgers at Cincinnati today, just raining base hits on the Reds this afternoon. Luis Castillo, their fine right-hander, started that game for the Reds. The Dodgers beat him around pretty good in that ball game. Yasmani Grandal with an opposite field base hit. Just a merry-go-round for the Dodgers today. The Red Menace scoring on that base hit into right field.
So the Rockies division lead down to 1 game over LA. D-backs 2.5 back. Nick Ahmed leads off the 4th against John Gray. Well, the Rockies in the ball game last night had 9 hits. 7 of them were doubles. Tonight they have 5 hits, 4 of them doubles.
Wow, that is weird.
It's weird. Nick drove in a run with a sac fly his first time up. Pops this one up behind the screen, out of play. Rockies, after this 4-game set, have a long road trip, all within the division. 3 at the Giants, 3 at the Dodgers, and then 3 at Chase Field against the D-backs. And they come home. They finish up their season here at Coors Field against the Phillies and the Nationals. A little different from the Diamondbacks, who finish up all in the division final 3 series. Colorado at home, LA at home, 3 at San Diego in the final weekend of the season. John Gray coming off a 29-pitch second and a 36-pitch third. 35.
While we have a moment here, let's take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We go back to the 2006 season when a 39-year, 9-day-old Luis Gonzalez became the oldest player in Major League history to hit 50 doubles in 1 season.
Oh, he was just a kid.
Yeah, just a baby. Yeah, the good stuff was still in front of him.
Well, John Gray has now struck out 3 consecutive Diamondbacks in 4 of the last 5 he's faced since the Escobar homer. Avila walked his first time up. Rockies have the shift on. Another fastball misses.
Well, another thing that happened on this day in 2006, the Braves were mathematically eliminated from the division race for the first time in 15 years. 14 consecutive division titles.
And 1 World Series. Yes. In the air, deep to center field. Blackman is at the track. He's at the wall, and it's gone. Alex Avila, 4-2 D-backs. Second Diamondback home run tonight against John Gray.
Such a nice, easy, controlled swing on a pitch out away from him. He got the barrel on it, and if you barrel the ball in this ballpark in the air, you've always got a chance. That one got well out of here, just to the left of straightaway center field.
Escobar, a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Avila, a solo shot in the 4th. A jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Here's Patrick Corbin now with a 4-2 lead. 4:20 on the Avila homer to center. Alex's 7th of the year. 1-1 on Corbin, who hit into a big double play to end a bases loaded 1-out threat in the 2nd.
That home run by Alex Avila came on the very first and only changeup that John Gray has thrown today.
And guessing last changeup he'll throw today. Yeah, he has had no luck with that pitch at all. And now he's fallen behind Corbin 3-1. Got the call from Phil Cuzzy, and it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. A.J. Pollock on deck. Chris Russin back up and throwing in the Colorado bullpen. John Gray's spot due up 4th in the bottom of the 4th. Well, John Gray in his last 10 starts has given up more than 2 earned runs only 3 times. Bounces back and gets a strikeout. But the Diamondbacks have got him for 4 so far, through 3 1/3, 3 2/3.
We got a no-hitter alert, partner.
Oh yeah, where?
Jake Odorizzi, 7 innings against the Yankees, no hits allowed. However, he is up to 109 pitches.
AJ has grounded out. He's been hit by a pitch. Yeah, Odorizzi against Luis Severino, Yankees and Twins at Target Field. "90 pitches for Gray through 3 2/3. Desmond's over there in foul ground, runs out of room.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Russin warming up again in the Colorado bullpen. Another big game for John Gray, and once again he's had trouble with the Diamondbacks. Two and two on AJ. No lead is big enough, is it? Certainly not one game. And John Gray gets another strikeout. That's his 6th, but the Diamondbacks get another home run. It's Alex Avila. A solo homer in the 4th, his 7th of the year. Makes it 4-2 Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks as Ian Desmond leads off the bottom of the 4th for the Rockies against the Diamondbacks' Patrick Corbin. That stays fair. Corbin's on it. Spins around. Nice underhand toss to Goldie. And that's the first out in the 4th. Hey fans, Fan Appreciation Day coming up Sunday, September 23rd at Chase Field. Against these Rockies, that's a 1:10 start. Fans can win great prizes all game long. And then stick around after the game and run the bases. If you've never had the chance to do that, now's your chance. Fan Appreciation Day Sunday, September 23rd. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com. A lot of D-back fans here as always. Back in the Sedona Red.
I would highly recommend getting down on the field and taking that trip around the bases. That one's grounded up the middle for a base hit by David Dahl. That's a completely different perspective when you're down at field level looking up at the seats that you normally sit in to watch a ball game.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Not to mention every fan that steps on home plate after the ball game, a donation is made to Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Oh, really? That's a great idea.
Yeah, so you can have a little fun, get a different perspective on the game, and do some good for Phoenix children.
Drew Butera, the catcher, rounded out his first time. Boy, Dahl just kind of snuck that one through the infield. Patrick about to throw his 50th pitch of the ball game. John Gray's already over 90. And so his night is going to end. Tom Murphy, one of the backup catchers, is in the on-deck circle. He will hit for Gray. In the air, right center field. Souza has got it on the warning track. Dahl back to the bag at first. 50 pitches for Patrick Corbin. And now Murphy will hit for Gray. Tom Murphy, 222. He's homered twice. He's got some power. 17 home runs in 64 games at AAA Albuquerque this year, where he spent most of the season. Three pitches, 2 outs and a single for Patrick. And that's belted into left for a base hit. Dahl will stop at second. That's Tom Murphy's first base hit since July 29th. It's been a while. 2 on and 2 out for Blackman.
He kind of did it one-handed. Looked like he released the top hand. It really made a funny sound coming off the bat. I think Charlie Blackman wears eye black to bed. I don't think I've ever seen him without eye black.
It's a good look. It goes with the beard somehow. Blackman has faced Corbin twice. He struck out twice. Blackman has been red hot at the plate. He hit only .226 in August, but he's over 400 in September. He's got 4 hits in the series already. Dahl at second, Murphy at first, 2 outs. That stays fair. Tough play for Escobar. Double clutch. And they can't make the play. Just couldn't get a grip. And they're loaded for LeMahieu.
And they call that a do or die play for a reason. You only have one chance. Charge the ball hard, pick it clean, and just could not find the handle that time. Everything has to be perfect in order to get Charlie Blackman at first, and right there, Escobar just couldn't find the handle on the baseball.
Corbin has only thrown 5 pitches in the inning. But he's got bases full. 2 down for LeMahieu, who singled and scored his last time up.
Only 6 pitches taken for a strike by Rockies hitters tonight. All 6 of them were first pitch strikes, and 5 of the 6 hitters swung at the next pitch. Not sure exactly what that means, but there's a called strike first pitch.
Throws that slider in there through the back door. 0-1. Mayhew has done a lot of damage against lefties. .335 this year with 6 homers. Oh, 2. I think we all need to chip in and get Avila a spa day at some point soon. Just dunk him in the hot tub for about 3 days. The titanium catcher, they call him.
Well, you could connect the dots with all the bruises he has.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The ball just seems to find him. Mayhew didn't offer it a fastball away. It's 1-2. Corbin trying to leave him loaded here in the Rocky Fourth. Colorado already with 8 hits in the ball game. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 8-4. But the D-backs have a 4-2 lead. Couple of home runs, a 2-run shot by Escobar, and a solo homer by Avila. The other run on a Nick Ahmed sac fly. Here's the 1-2. Got him! Patrick Corbin leaves them loaded. That's 6 strikeouts for Patrick. It stays 4-2 Diamondbacks. Cool play of the game. Corbin keeps his cool, strikes out LeMahieu with the bases full.
A contact hitter that rarely strikes out. He gets DJ LeMahieu to swing right over the top of that slider to get out of a big time jam.
Well, this is something that Bud Black did not want to happen. He wanted no part of this. Chris Russin, who has really struggled this year, on to start the 5th inning of a critical game against the Diamondbacks. You see the ERA is near 7. He's had a lot of tough luck this year. Here's Escobar, who skies one to right for Dahl to start off the 5th. Russin has been on the DL a couple of times this year. Plantar fasciitis in his left foot. He has given up 14 runs in his last 12 appearances. It's not going well for him. Here's Peralta, who has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2 after a misjudged fly ball in the outfield earlier in the ball game behind Patrick Corbin. Patrick was able to strand the runner. That was a double by Desmond in the 2nd.
David broke in on it. Ball carried over his head. But Desmond was left there when Corbin struck out Dahl and retired Butera. Little tapper to third. Arenado already in on the grass. Throws him out.
Well, you talk about Chris Russin's struggles this season, which is kind of surprising. He was one of Buddy Black's go-to guys last year. Was 5-1 with a 2.65 ERA in 60 games. Struck out nearly a batter per inning. Hardly walked anybody, but it's been a real slog for Chris Russin this season.
Sure has. He's a guy that was a swing man before. He would start and relieve. Goldie's had a big night. He has doubled, singled, scored a run, and stolen a base. Batting average, as you saw a moment ago, now with .301. Quick pitch from Russin. Fastball's in there, and it's 0-2. First time I remember seeing anybody do that was right here in this ballpark, LaTroy Hawkins. Yep. And it's become very trendy. There's another one. No delivery, no windup, just a quick joop, trying to catch the batter off guard. And everybody's picked up on it. A lot of guys use that now.
Didn't get to see it quite as much this year since Johnny Cueto spent most of the summer on the disabled list. He's the guy that has really turned it into an art form.
Sure has. Trying to mess with the hitter's timing. There it is. Left it up. Goldie fouled it back. I don't know how effective it is doing it 3 consecutive times. Here's a look at the quick pitch from Chris Russin. Kind of looks like he's going to kick back and start that delivery, then just brings it. Goldie did not have a great September last year. Remember, he had that elbow problem that caused him to miss a few games. So he's had a big month of September so far. He has been enormous down the stretch. He's hit safely now in 12 of his last 13 games. He's hitting about 400 over that stretch. He's hitting over 500 this year here at Coors Field. That one a little bit off the plate. Phil Cuzzi gives Russin the strike call. And he comes in, works a 1-2-3 fifth. It's 4-2 D-backs. here at Coors Field. Time for the Indeed Player Resume. Look at Nick Ahmed in the year he's had. He's among the best shortstops in the National League.
He really is, and not only defensively. We know how great he is defensively. We're stumping for him to get the Gold Glove this year, something he certainly deserves. But even offensively, he's having a breakout season all the way around.
Yeah, Nick over 240, 16 home runs, 29 doubles. Arenado has doubled twice tonight. He's doubled 4 times in the series already. Leads off the 5th. Patrick Corbin coming off a win over the Braves last Friday at Chase Field and holding a 4-2 lead here tonight. Patrick last week just 1 run allowed, held Atlanta to 4 hits in 6 innings, finished with 9 strikeouts. Tonight 60 pitches, 43 strikes. He's not walked a batter, he's punched out 6.
How about that bottom of the 4th inning for Patrick Corbin? Gave up 3 hits but did not allow a run. That's the first time this season a D-backs pitcher has allowed 3 hits and no runs in an inning without a double play in the inning.
Wow. Arenado not able to check on that fastball low, and it's 2-2. It's amazing how often Patrick does not throw the ball in the strike zone. Now, you keep in mind, he's 3rd in the National League in strikeouts. But among starting pitchers with at least 100 innings thrown this year, no one throws pitches in the zone less often than Patrick Corbin. Only 35% of the time does he actually throw it for a strike. Of course, he works the edges around the zone with that fastball, gets a lot of calls off the plate, and keeps that slider down for swings and misses.
A lot of Patrick's pitches, especially the sliders, they give the illusion of a strike. It looks like it's going to be a good pitch down there around the knees, around the inside corner. Batters swing at it or take it, and it ends up off the plate, down and in.
This is lifted deep to center. AJ still backing up, shy of the wall, and it's gone. Arenado is 33rd. That carried into the fountains out there, and it's a 4-3 ball game. Patrick had gone 11 consecutive starts without giving up a home run, but he's now given up a homer in 3 of his last 4.
Boy, and Arenado's last 2 at-bats, a double back in the 3rd inning to drive home a run, and this solo blast to center field, both on pitches that were down around his ankles. Went down and got that one just over the reach of A.J. Pollock in center.
So Arenado has doubled twice and homered. Here's Story 0 for 2.
Well, as you might expect, the Rockies are 1-2 in the National League in home runs at home. Trevor Story with 22 here at Coors Field this year. Nolan Arenado now with 19.
That's Arenado's 5th home run of the year against the Diamondbacks. Well, you read all about his shoulder and how it's bugging him. You see his comments. It's just something he's got to deal with. But he takes 1,000 throws before every game from 3rd. And it certainly, at least tonight, hasn't affected his offense, it seems. The numbers would tell you that it's a thing, but not by what we've seen. Patrick hustles over there and just does beat Story to the bag.
Well, that was more like a handoff to a running back than a flip to the pitcher covering the bag at first. Goldie comes in and with his glove just kind of hands it to Patrick Corbin, who beats Story to the base for the out.
65 toss power trap. Matt Holliday has struck out flight out 0 for 2. Rockies have out hit the Diamondbacks 9-4. sends one out to right. It dunks in front of Souza for a base hit. The 10th hit for Colorado.
You know, partner, I mentioned earlier that got a little note on Scooter Gennett, who, by the way, is my new favorite player in the major leagues.
Why is that?
Scooter Gennett this year against the National League West.
Yeah.
He's 16 for 22 against the Dodgers. That's a .727 batting average for the Red second baseman. Against these Colorado Rockies in 6 games, he's 11 for 21. That's a .524 average. Against the San Francisco Giants, he's hitting .462.
Well, maybe we can call Cincinnati.
Yeah, a rental.
Well, we could trade some members of your staff
Well,
for Scooter Gennett. That seems fair.
we've tried that before. Nobody wants any of them. Now, he's only hitting .190 against the Padres and .227 against the Diamondbacks, but I love what he's doing against the rest of the division, especially the Dodgers.
Corbin 70 pitches, 51 strikes. Here's Desmond. He has doubled and grounded out. Patrick, despite all the traffic around him on the bases, 10 Rockies hits. He's been able to keep his pitch count down by getting some quick outs. 8 outs on 3 or fewer pitches tonight.
Sevilla playing the role of dirt dog here tonight. It's his turn to block pitches in the dirt. Jeff Mathis just did a fantastic job in that ball game last night.
Comes the 2-1 breaking ball. Here's your ground ball double play. Ahmed Descalso, and they roll it. But Arenado hits his 33rd to make it a 1-run ball game. Three Diamondbacks so far. Starting in week 4, Fox is the new network home of Thursday night football, and the schedule on Fox this year is loaded. It's one big can't miss matchup after another. Thursday night football arrives at Fox in week 4. Now it's a game. It's on.
Oh, it's on.
Descalso, it's on Fox, will lead off the 6th against lefty Chris Russin. He's walked and struck out. D-backs have been out hit 10-4, but they lead it 4-3. Daniel thought that was a little high. He wasn't wrong. Quick pitch from Russin, misses down that time, and it's 1-1. Daniel this year, a .283 hitter against lefties. And includes 4 homers out of play. Just foul in front of Dave McKay at first. Russin came on to start the 5th in relief of John Gray, who really labored and struggled tonight. Gave up a couple of home runs. Russin came on, worked a quick 1-2-3 5th. Now ahead of Descalso 1-2. Quick pitch, got him.
Got a good pitch to hit, but perhaps his timing thrown off just a little bit by that quick pitch by Russin.
Yeah, Russin has thrown 15 pitches so far, 12 strikes. Souza struck out against Gray to win the 3rd. I don't know if you saw the toothbrush race in between innings. There was some controversy. Looked to be some, I guess, the dental mascot version of jockey interference. They were jockeying for position, if you will, and as they say, rubbing is racing.
Yeah, swapping paint.
That is bristles the toothbrush by a brush against Toothy the Tooth.
Photo finish. Had to actually have x-rays, lay that big lead vest on him.
That's right. That's why we were a little late getting that to you. That's an odd choice for a mascot race, but it's sponsored by a local dentist outfit.
I would think if you're the local dental outfit that sponsors that, I would rather have candies running. You know, you want the kids to look down there and say, oh man, I could use some Skittles right about now. Then it drives the business to the dental practice.
See, that's executive style thinking there.
You know, if the kids floss and brush and do everything they're supposed to do, that dental practice is going to go out of business.
Line to Arenado at 3rd. Well, we kind of buried the lead here. We wanted to show you the controversy in the mascot race, but how about this? The Queen of England threw out the first pitch tonight, thinking it was a cricket match or something. That was a wicked googly. But she's got the handbag and the hat and the whole thing. The Queen of England. Now that's a big get right there, doing the wave.
Yeah. I believe the Queen was one of the 3 paratroopers that actually bombed into the ballpark here before the game.
Well, she was, I believe, in the Royal Air Corps back in the war. No, really.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
You didn't watch The Crown?
I know you did.
Oh, it's great. We love The Crown. Actually, that was another promotion because they now have direct flights from Denver to London, and I hate to ruin the effect, but that really wasn't the Queen of England.
It really would have been good if the Queen would have gone into a full windup.
Hello. That's right. Do the old Warren Spahn deal, one of those.
Louis Tion or Juan Marichal, big leg kick.
I can't believe you and Joan didn't watch The Crown. Yeah, you got a lot on your plate.
I was busy that day.
Yeah. Maybe Todd Walsh can start binge watching that one now that he's caught up on Game of Thrones. Well, Russin has retired all 5 he's faced. He's ahead of Ahmed 1-2. Arenado in front of Story. Chris Russin 6 up, 6 down, but it's 4-3 Diamondbacks. 4-3 lead. D-backs back in the fight for postseason. You can guarantee tickets for this year's potential postseason games by becoming a 2019 season ticket holder, and you can choose from a full season ticket plan, a half a season. You can design series or weekend plans at dbacks.com. Dahl has struck out, singled, 1 for 2. And Patrick Corbin, even though he's third in the league in strikeouts, and the strikeout totals have skyrocketed for Patrick this year, is still and really always has been by nature a ground ball pitcher. Not a weak contact. And that's been the case really again tonight. He's got 7 groundouts and 6 strikeouts. Using his defenders behind him. 0-2 on Dahl. Just got a double play ball to win the bottom of the 5th. Dahl, Butera, and the pitcher's spot due up 7, 8, 9 in the Colorado 6th inning.
I mentioned earlier in the ball game that Jake Odorizzi from the Twins had a no-hitter going against the Yankees. Greg Bird with a base hit in the 8th inning to break up that no-hitter.
Bird is the word.
Brew Crew leading the Cubbies 2-1 in the 8th inning.
What is that? A 2-game difference, I believe it was at the start of the day, top of the NL Central.
Yeah, Cubs were up by 2 games.
Brewers hold the first wild card ahead of the Cardinals. Fastball misses away. Dahl, a good AB here. He's worked at full 3-2 with Butera on deck. Patrick has not walked a batter so far tonight. Right there for a strike. 7 for Corbin.
Occasionally just takes a little bit off that slider, rolls it right up there in the middle of the zone that time. When you're so used to looking low and away as a left-handed hitter for that left-handed slider, and he throws one at you that breaks over the heart of the plate, sometimes you just can't pull the trigger.
Drew Butera 0 for 2. Drew Butera, the son of Sal Butera, longtime Major League catcher with the Twins and the Tigers, the Expos, the Reds and Blue Jays. So it runs in the family. Sal Butera's famous moment, as you know, 1987. He was a backup catcher on that '87 Twins World Series team. And after the Twins won the World Series, they had a parade through downtown Minneapolis. Everybody was on the back of a convertible waving to the crowd, and Sal Butera's car caught on fire.
Oh, jeez.
So it was an explosive parade there in '87.
Dan Gladden probably had something to do with it.
Bet he did. Gladden, a key member on both those '87 and '91 Twins World Series winners. Dan, the man from Gladden, one of your former teammates.
Sal Butera, Drew's daddy, and I were teammates in winter ball down in Venezuela one year. Yeah.
What's it like to play winter ball in Venezuela, or what was it like?
It wasn't a great experience for me because I played so poorly. I just had a real bad winter ball both times I went down there, once to Venezuela, once to the Dominican. But I mean, it is high quality, competitive, energetic baseball on a daily basis.
Ahmed's throw pulls Goldie off the bag, gets the tag down. And Valleca will hit for Russ in the pitcher.
I mean, we've seen the reaction of some of the crowds at the World Baseball Classic and how they get into it, waving flags and blowing horns and going crazy in the stands. That's the way it was just about every night in winter ball.
Well, I don't know if you saw, did you see what the Marlins are going to do next year? They're going to allow all those noisemakers in the ballpark in Marlins Park to try and create some of that atmosphere, or any atmosphere, at Marlins Park. So they're going to sort of have the flags and the noisemakers and the chanting and the whole thing at Marlins games next year to try and boost up some of the energy in that ballpark. As Mike Butcher pays Patrick Corbin a visit with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Well, that ought to be a real treat for the broadcasters.
It's going to be interesting. Brad Ziegler, who was immense in the ball game last night, got out of that bases loaded mess in the 7th and then got 3 outs in the 8th. Starts to warm up again. Valleca hits for Russin. Pat Valleca, the utility man, having a tough year, only hitting 147 after having a really nice season last year. 4 for 24 as a pinch hitter this year. That stays fair. Corbin hustles. A little shovel toss to Goldie, and Patrick works a 1-2-3-6. It's 4-3 Diamondbacks. Three set for the start of the 7th inning. Don't forget, if you can, watch the Diamondback games on TV. Stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go.
Well, partner, we have anniversary wishes, and this is one of the more unusual ones we've had. I actually had to get my staff to make a phone call to make sure this was right. We got a little note here that says, say happy 50th anniversary to Joe in Mayer, Arizona, and his wife Kathy, who's at the game tonight.
Wait a minute, what?
They're celebrating their anniversary. Joe's in Mayer, Arizona, and his wife Kathy is here at the game, and there was a phone number here, so my staff called their daughter Melanie just to make sure that was correct, and indeed it is.
Well, that's how you keep a marriage working.
I guess so.
Different time zones.
Well, happy anniversary nonetheless.
That's right, absolutely. So at least the couple, more important to the point, the couple is representing their anniversary at a Diamondback game.
Absolutely.
So real commitment here. Here's Avila, who has walked and homered. New pitcher for the Rockies, the right-hander Scott Oberg, who we saw briefly in the ball game last night. Rockies have the shift on. Oberg came on with a 1 out in the 7th inning last night. Got Escobar to hit into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Only threw 2 pitches in the ball game last night. LeMahieu back on the outfield grass at second. Avila drives it to center. Blackman gets over there.
Good solid contact again for Alex Avila. Looked like it might split that gap when it left his bat, but Charlie Blackman closed ground quickly, was shaded a couple steps over into that left center field gap and able to make the running catch.
That's 9 straight Diamondback hitters retired since the Avila homer in the 4th, and Corbin will bat for himself in the 7th. Patrick right now only at 73 pitches in the ball game. actually. That's, well, let's see. Stand by. Oh, and 2 on Corbin. Yeah, make that 86. That sounds right. And Patrick strikes out. 2 up, 2 down for Oberg. Pollock will be the hitter. So even with a 1-run lead on 86 pitches, Corbin will get the 7th when the top of the order is due up for Colorado. AJ 0 for 2 was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and scored a run. Came home on the Escobar home run. And that was a tense moment. AJ took a 94-mile-an-hour John Gray fastball right off the wrist. Looked like the left wrist, I think.
Yeah.
Right above that fractured thumb that he suffered back in May. But fortunately, he's okay. Diamondbacks have been out hit 10-4, but they lead it 4-3. Goldie has a double and a single. Escobar has a home run. Avila has a home run. That's been the offense. Really making these Rockies pitchers work tonight. Gray's pitch count spun out of control early. We got him out of the game after 4, but they've done nothing with Russin and Oberg so far. AJ can't check. Oberg gets 2 strikeouts, a 1-2-3 7th. We stretch in Denver, 4-3 D-backs. In Denver Friday, the D-backs are back on Fox Sports Arizona with a 3-game set at Houston against the world champion Astros. Coverage starts Friday 4:30, Saturday 3:30, wraps up Sunday 10:30 a.m. D-backs live pregame right here on Fox Sports Arizona, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The Diamondbacks and the Astros. 3 games over the weekend starting on Friday. Charlie Blackmon, who has struck out twice and singled, leads off the 7th against Patrick Corbin. We want to send best wishes to everyone in the Carolinas. Bench coach Jerry Narin keeping a close eye on Hurricane Florence, which is bearing down. Jerry, born and raised, still makes his home in Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is about 60 miles from the coast. So I'm sure he's very concerned with what's happening back home in Goldsboro, North Carolina, as we all are watching Hurricane Florence. Some of those satellite images are frightening. 2-0 on Blackman.
Big out to get right here, leading off the bottom of the 7th inning in a 1-run ball game. Charlie Blackman is the motor of this team. You definitely don't want him on base.
Got the strike call on that fastball right on the edge, and it's 2-2. Brad Ziegler still warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Adam Ottavino in the Colorado pen. Brad is ready. This might be a deal where if Patrick allows one base runner, he's done. Ground ball to second for Descalso. Big out to get right there. 5 in a row set down by Corbin, and another ground ball out for Patrick. Well, that's going to be the case regardless. LeMahieu will be the hitter, and Torey Lovullo going to Brad Ziegler. Patrick Corbin gave up 10 base hits but made big pitches when he needed to, and will leave in the 7th with a 4-3 lead. Is in 6 1/3, 3 runs on 10 hits allowed. He had 7 strikeouts. Did not walk a batter. Leaves with a 4-3 lead. Turns it over to the Diamondback bullpen. It's Brad Ziegler, who was sensational last night. Got a big ground ball to end a bases loaded threat in the 7th, and then a double play ball to end the 8th. His 75th appearance of the year. He'll face LeMahieu and Arenado. Bases empty, 1 out.
I'm sure you would agree that Patrick Corbin has had more dominant outings this year, but talk about making big pitches when you need him the most. This might have been his best game of the season.
Well, the Diamondbacks have slumped lately in 1-run ball games, but you have to be encouraged by what you saw from the restructured bullpen last night. 2 1/3 scoreless, and Ziegler was a big part of that one. Talk about a low heartbeat. He might not have a pulse when he comes into some of these spots. Got LeMahieu to get that big grounder to end that bases loaded threat last night to win the 7th. And then got Story to hit into a double play ball to end the 8th. Now this one is punched into right, and the tying runs aboard. LeMahieu 2 for 4. And here comes Arenado, who has doubled twice and homered tonight.
How about this, partner? National League games by a reliever. Diamondbacks have 4 of the top 5 in appearances. Brad Ziegler was 75, pacing the way. Andrew Chafin was 71. Yoshi Hirano with 70. Archie Bradley with 68. Steve Cishek is in there as well, tied with Yoshi Hirano.
Well, you got to think, Bob, that has at least something to do with the way the bullpen has performed lately. Guys have been out there a lot.
Yep. And figure to be out there a lot more.
Yeah, still got a ways to go here. Arenado doubled in the first, had an RBI double in the third, and homered in the fifth. He's 3 for 3. That's after he doubled twice in last night's ball game. A bullet to third. Escobar's got it. 1 and 2. Brad Ziegler, another double play ball. We head to the 8th. Oh boy. Eduardo Escobar, a 2-run home run off John Gray in the third. And then a ball hit 107 miles an hour off the bat of Nolan Arenado that starts the double play to end the 7th.
Almost knocked him back into left field that time. What a play to turn that double play. If you come up with it cleanly at third base and the ball's hit that hard, easy double play.
107
Woo.
Right at his feet. Unbelievable. Oberg back out there. Here's the 8th. Escobar backs out, takes a strike, 0-1. He's 1 for 3. Brad Ziegler, far and away the active leader among major league relievers in terms of generating ground ball double plays. 2 big ones in this series so far for Brad. Escobar, Peralta, Goldie, 2, 3, and 4 in the Diamondback 8th. Still only 4 hits. Right field for David Dahl. Boy, Rockies pitchers have now retired 12 straight Diamondback hitters since Avila's 1-out homer in the 4th. Peralta 0 for 3. So it's another game where the offense, once they got the early lead, kind of took a nap for a while. They've been shut down by this Rockies bullpen. There's the strike. Fastball on the corner. Oberg has been very good for Colorado down the stretch here.
Boy, and Oberg is a real exaggerated ball tapper. When he takes that ball out of the mid, he taps it in there a couple times before delivering to home plate.
Gonna have to make a play. Bobbles the ball, recovers, and retires Peralta. Here's Goldie.
Goldie with 3 total bases in the game tonight. Doubled back in the second inning, singled in the third. That gives him 304 total bases on the season, only 3 behind Trevor Story for the National League lead.
Well, you think about where he was batting 198 on May 22nd, and now a real contender for league MVP. The old bird worked a 1-2-3 7th. He's got the first two here in the 8th. He has thrown 17 pitches, 14 for strikes. But he's fallen behind on Goldie 2-0. Rockies in the home half of the 8th get Story, Holiday, Desmond up there 4, 5, and 6. No one is warming up right now in the Diamondback bullpen as Butera goes out there to have a word. Hey fans, enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. You can access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. The whole thing. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. The 2-0 to Goldie. Fastballs, a strike, 2-1. Pretty good slider right there and a fastball count. It's 2-2.
I think it was that hesitation in the delivery that threw Goldie off just a little bit there.
It's the opposite of the quick pitch right there. Full count, 3-2. Descalso on deck. Up the middle, LeMahieu is there, spins and throws, and he's got him. Well, the Rockies have now set down 14 straight Diamondbacks, 4-3 Arizona. Home runs from Eduardo Escobar and Alex Avila have been most of the offense. Diamondbacks have only 4 hits in the ball game. The Rockies have 11, but it's 4-3 D-backs. Brad Ziegler back out there. Trevor Story leads off the Colorado 8th.
Yeah, Brad Ziegler came in that bottom half of the 7th inning with 1 out to face DJ LeMahieu. Quickly gave up a base hit. I think he did it just so he could have another double play ball.
Well, you see Mike Fetters waving his cap. Both Bradley and Chafin are ready. Ziegler in a big spot last night got Story to hit into a double play to win the game.
And that double play that Nolan Arenado grounded in to end the 7th tied Brad Ziegler with Paul Quantrill for 12th place all-time double plays by a relief pitcher. Now wait just a minute. Brad Ziegler has 138 just like Paul Quantrill. Brad has done it in 711 innings. Quantrill did it in 1,255 innings.
So percentage-wise,
oh man,
he may be, and you can make the statistical argument, he's the greatest of all time at getting the ground ball double play.
we'll know soon. I have my staff working on it as we speak.
That's not encouraging. Reaches down and knocks that foul. Story tonight 0 for 3. D-backs, if they can hang on, it's a big swing game for them. As we talked about earlier, they will either be 2 or 4 games behind the Rockies in the loss column after tonight. As an offer of that 1-1-2. D-backs 2.5 back of Colorado with only 17 to play. They are 3.5 out of a wild card spot. Dodgers won in Cincinnati earlier today, 8-1. So Colorado's lead over LA is only 1 game. And Story strikes out.
So often when you talk about a weapon that a team has, you're referring to an offensive player that can hit the ball out of the ballpark or steal a base for you late in the game. Brad Ziegler is a weapon out of that bullpen. Especially when you've got traffic on the bases and you need that ground ball to escape damage, he's the guy.
And look at how Torey Lovullo has changed the way he uses his bullpen. If you look at who's coming up here that Ziegler has faced, it's LeMahieu, Arenado, Story, Holiday. These are the outs that Archie Bradley had been getting all year long. Now it's Ziegler. Got the strike call from Phil Cuzzy. 1-1. Holiday singled his last time up against Corbin, 1 for 3 tonight. There's a tapper that goes foul. Let's go down to Jody.
Well, guys, you know, Brad's so calm out there. How does he do it? Well, he lives by this motto: slow is smooth, smooth is fast. He has the acronym written inside his cab. He first heard it in the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, and, you know, he asked some Navy SEAL friends, is that really something you guys talk about? They said absolutely. Those are in crucial situations. He's not comparing those situations to pitching, but it works for him. And at 38 years old, 39 on October 10th, guys, he's got breathing techniques. He really has a great idea of how to stay composed on the mound.
Yeah, he said he used to go out there all pumped up, ready to go, like a football player, run out onto the field, and he figured, you know, that's the opposite of what I should be doing. Nice and calm out there now.
Yeah, when you come in out of the bullpen, you don't run through a paper hoop, the marching bands. You've got to stay under control and understand situations, understand inning management. Who am I facing in this inning? Who are the guys that are likely to give me trouble? Who are the guys I'm really going to have to bear down on? Who are the guys I should just bury in this inning? You can't just come out of that bullpen breathing fire.
That's foul. Well, he said he noticed, going back to Daisuke Matsuzaka, that's what all the Japanese pitchers that he's seen do. They come out there, very low heartbeat. They're not running out to this electric rock and roll music and making a big entrance and sprinting in from the bullpen. They're all very calm. And he's really taken that whole attitude and run with it. Holiday's putting up a fight. He's angry with himself for missing some of these slow sinkers. 85, 87.
Well, We've seen Brad throw some straight change-ups this season, usually only to left-handed batters, but if he has a lengthy at-bat against a right-handed hitter and he's shown him the slider and shown him the sinker, you may see him try to surprise a right-handed hitter with a change-up from time to time.
That's a good at-bat here by Holiday. He's really defending himself well. They've got Desmond on deck. Bradley and Chafin ready in the bullpen. The Rockies closer Wade Davis is up in the Colorado pen. Here he is. He gave him $52 million to come here and be the closer. Seems like he does not want to let Holiday drop the head of that bat down and in, because that's where Brad usually works these righties, but he stayed away from Holiday here. 2-2. Going back out there again. Good at bat right here. He's worked it full. 10th pitch of the at bat to Matt Holiday right here. Holiday battles and works a 1-out walk. Desmond is the hitter. Rockies have the go-ahead run at the plate, 1 out in the 8th. See how Torey Lovullo wants to play this one. Now the speedy Garrett Hampson comes in to run for Holiday. He's the tying run. That's the first walk issued by a Diamondbacks pitcher tonight. Desmond doubled in the second. 1 for 3. Got the low strike call right at the knees. Ziegler got a big double play ball last night. Got another one tonight to end the 7th. Can he dial up one more and escape the 8th? Desmond hits more ground balls, we mentioned this last night, than any hitter in baseball.
Yeah, this should be a match made in heaven right here. Brad Ziegler and that sinking fastball, frisbee slider against a guy that hits lots of ground balls.
More than 60% of everything Ian Desmond hits is a grounder. Hampson can really fly down there. He's got good speed. Holds it first. There's another ground ball. Escobar short hop. They have to settle for 1. And the Rockies get the tying run into scoring position with 2 outs. And the batter is David Dahl. You've got a left-hander ready in the bullpen. Here comes Torey Lovullo. Chafin is up and throwing along with Archie Bradley, and Torey wants the lefty. We'll take a break. It's 4-3 D-backs. base for the Rockies with 2 outs. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink, a 3-game set in Houston against the world champion Astros. A matchup of lefties in the opener Friday, Robbie Ray and Dallas Keuchel. Godley Saturday against Charlie Morton. And look at that pitching matchup for the series finale Sunday. Greinke and Verlander.
How about that?
Don't miss a moment. All 3 games for you right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Well, Andrew Chafin came on last night in the 7th inning. Faced 2 batters, walked them both. He's got the tying run at second, 2 down in there against the lefty David Dahl. Dahl tonight against Corbin singled and struck out twice, 1 for 3. Starts him off with a slider. Chafin came on with a runner at second and 2 outs last night in the 7th. Walked Iannetta, the pinch hitter. Walked Blackman. And Ziegler came in, got that ground ball to end a bases loaded threat. Now tonight working in inverse order. And Chafin's fallen behind 2-0. They've got Drew Butera, the right-hand batter, on deck. Archie Bradley ready in the bullpen. Pitcher spot behind Butera. They've already used Murphy and Valleca, a couple of right-hand bats off the bench. Well, Chafin's fallen behind 3-0. You do have first base open here. But you want to limit the traffic in a 1-run ball game. Diamondbacks have lost their last 7 1-run games. Fastball's a strike. Dahl taking all the way. This is his first ever at bat against Andrew Chafin. He'll keep an eye on Hampson back there, running for Holiday. Hampson can really run. Stole 36 bases in the minors this year. Stole 51 in the Cal League last year. 3-1 on David Dahl. And Chafin loses him. Second walk in the inning. 2 on and 2 out. Looks like Butera will go back to the dugout, and the batter will be Chris Iannetta, who walked against Chafin in the ball game last night. So Iannetta is announced. Here comes Torey Lovello to go get his left-hander out of there. 1-run ball game in the 8th. Back in a moment. For the Rockies, Torey Lovullo counters with Archie Bradley, so Bud Black recalls Iannetta, and Carlos Gonzalez will bat from the left-hand side against Bradley with 2 on and 2 out in a 1-run ball game in the 8th. They bring in the Beard for the 69th time this year.
This is another situation that really gets skewed in the month of September. I mean, normally you have 2 catchers on your roster. And if you're going to pinch hit one catcher for another, you know that they're not going to then pinch hit for the second catcher because you have nobody to go behind the plate. But the Rockies with 3 catchers available over there on the bench, multiple pinch hitters available. You try to make the right moves, thinking that, well, he won't pinch hit for Chris Iannetta in this situation, but indeed Bud Black will.
September roster completely changes the way you play the game. So here's Cargo and Bradley. 4-3 in the 8th, 2 on and 2 out. Gonzalez at 280 with 15 home runs. He started last night's game, went 1 for 4 with a double. You've got a Hampson with great speed, the tying run at second. Dahl, who can run well, is the go-ahead run at first. This is in with a fastball.
Now this is a matchup that's favored Carlos Gonzalez in the past. 5 for 12 lifetime against Archie Bradley. That's a .417 batting average.
All 5 of those hits are singles. Ground ball. Descalso's there. They bring in the Beard, and he strands 2. Diamondbacks hanging on. Still 4-3. Diamondback pitching has been just good enough tonight. 3 runs on 11 hits for Colorado, but the D-backs start the 9th inning holding a 4-3 lead. Not a save situation certainly, but Bud Black looking to preserve that 1-run deficit has gone to his closer Wade Davis, who has a 4.63 ERA, but he is first in the league with 39 saves. Defensive changes. You've got Carlos Gonzalez remaining in the ball game. He takes over in right field for David Dahl. Dahl slides over to left, replacing Holiday, who they pinch ran for, and Tony Walters is behind the plate as Bud Black runs through all 4 catchers. Descalso leads off the 9th. The Diamondbacks do not have a base hit since Avila's solo home run with 1 out in the 4th. The last 14 Diamondback batters have been set down. Right at Desmond. That's the second time tonight a D-back hitter has roped one down that line, and Desmond has made the play happen to Escobar back in the first.
Escobar's maybe a little bit higher. Desmond had to leave his feet to catch that one. This one's hit right at him, right in his tracks. Didn't even have to move.
Here's Souza, 0 for 3. Rockies in the bottom of the ninth will have the pitcher spot due up. And then the leadoff man, Blackman and LeMahieu. 9-1-2. And after his first career major league save last night and his first ever major league beer shower to celebrate, Yoshihisa Hirano warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Torey Lovullo, after it worked so well last night, was very honest and open with the reporters after the game. I'm going to stick with this. So Yoshi's going to get the back end here.
Yeah, the first 4 or 5 months of the season, if you want to show a guy you have confidence in him, get him back out on the mound quickly after a rough outing, that's one thing. But when you get down to the month of September, it is, what have you done for me lately? Who's hot right now? Cutter appeared to slide off the outside corner right there, but they get the call from Phil Cuzzy.
Wade Davis throws a whole bunch of cutters. 2-2 on Souza. Got him.
Well, the first one may have been a little bit off the corner. That one might have just caught the outside edge.
Base is empty, 2 down for Nick Ahmed. Nick drove in the game's first run, a sacrifice fly in the second. He's 0 for 2. D-backs need this one. They can pull within 2 games of the Rockies in the loss column. It'd be only a game and a half behind the division lead. Dodgers won at Cincinnati 8-1. D-backs 2.5 back of Colorado with only 17 to play. They're 3.5 out of a wild card spot. And check on that hard cutter. Two and two. Avila on deck, pitcher spot behind him. Alex homered in the fourth. That was the last Diamondback base hit. They still have only 4 hits in the ball game. Oh, he keeps yanking that pitch out there. 4-seamer away, full count, 3-2. Got him. The last 17 Diamondback hitters have been set down in order. And for the second night in a row, it'll be Yoshihisa Hirano to try and lock it down. Nobody out, and got 3 consecutive outs for his first major league save, and on for the 71st time this year, Yoshihisa Hirano. Yoshi came on in a big jam, got 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to center to put the game away, and the D-backs held on and won 6-3. He faced 3 batters, all the tying run at the plate, and put up his first major league save after recording 156 career saves, closing games for the Oryx Buffaloes in Japan. Ketel Marte replaces Descalso at second base. And the batter will be the pinch hitter Gerardo Parra to start the 9th for Colorado. D-backs can pull within a game and a half of the Rockies division lead if they can hang on here. Parra 275 and 5 homers. He has slumped big time in the second half of the year. Parra, Blackman, LeMahieu in the Colorado 9th. That's a liner. Goldie gets handcuffed, and Parra's aboard. That's the tying run.
Parra from that wide open stance gets a pitch off the plate inside and just buggy whips it down there to Goldie. Tries to play it on a short hop to his forehand side, just slowed it down, rolls out into shallow right field for a leadoff. They call that a hit?
And we're still waiting for a decision as Blackman steps up. That's a base hit for Parra. Blackman singled in the 4th. He's 1 for 4. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate. Nobody out in the 9th. Squares to bunt, gets it down. Yoshi's got it, and they move the tying run into scoring position.
First sacrifice bunt of the season for Charlie Blackman.
Here comes LeMahieu. LeMahieu has singled twice and scored a run, 2 for 4 tonight. Well, if Yoshi can get his second save, he's going to earn it. He's got LeMahieu here. Arenado on deck, Story behind him. Fastball up and in, fouled straight back, 0-1. Torey Lovullo's ball club trying to change the mojo in these games. They've lost their last 7 one-run decisions. That's the splitter, 1-1. Yoshi has not allowed an earned run in 11 consecutive games. He leads all rookie relief pitchers with that 1.88 ERA. Fly ball, deep right field. And the Rockies walk it off.